Hi there. Welcome to the submission info session for the National Alliance for Musical Theater's Festival of New Musicals. My name is Frankie Dailey. I'm NAMT's New Works Director, and I'm looking forward to guiding you through today's info session. It's November 17th, 2025, and today we'll be talking about the application for the 38th Annual Festival, which will take place in New York City in October 2026.
Hi everyone, Skye Ivey here. I'm NAMT's New Works Associate. Thanks so much for being with us today. Soon we'll chat through all parts of the application and hopefully answer any questions you might have to prepare you to send in your application. Parts of today's presentation are pre-recorded, but know that we're here and taking questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer questions at the end as well. This recording will be available online for you to return to later if needed. Let's get started. Here's some key info to get us started. First, check out the history of the Festival of New Musicals at namt.org/festivals. Then you can access the application directly at namt.org/festapp. Looking at dates, we'll hold open office hours on December 8th. More information can be found on our website at namt.org. This is a great chance to get one-on-one time with a NAMT staff member if you have specific questions that haven't been answered yet. Submissions are free to submit until December 16th. After that date, submissions will incur a late fee. The last day you may submit to the 2026 festival is January 6th. And while there is no cap to the number of submissions we'll accept, we will not extend the deadline this year. We will not accept submissions after January 6th for any reason. There's contact information for key NAMT staff on the screen as well. You can feel free to reach out to us if you have questions about your application. If you need tech support, NAMT staff may be able to address some issues. However, for most things, you should check out namt.org/submission help and open a ticket with Submittable.
The National Alliance for Musical Theater is a membership organization of producers and presenters, including academic institutions, regional producing organizations, commercial producers, developers, and arts services organizations, all coming together to further musical theater. We do this through a network of member and artist programs that cultivate relationships between writers and producers. This includes our 2 conferences each year, our granting programs, the online knowledge exchange, the Musical Theater Songwriting Challenge for high school students, and of course, the Festival of New Musicals. Find out more at namt.org. The Festival of New Musicals is a yearly event in October in New York City that highlights 8 new musicals selected by a committee that includes leaders in musical theater from organizations from all around the world. The goals for the festival are to present a season of shows with breadth and depth of themes and tones to suit an eclectic membership of theaters all around the country. We want to connect writers and producers to collaborate. The festival should feel like a professional catalyst using creative process to get there, and ultimately we want to encourage productions of these shows and to get producers working together to make it happen. The festival will be on October 22nd and 23rd in 2026. Rehearsals will take place in New York City, and selected writers must be present for all events. Remember, we're working toward a 45-minute stage reading presentation in front of a top-tier audience of leaders in the field.
Before you begin your application, let's look at eligibility. First, all submitted musicals must be in complete draft form, meaning that the script is finished for now and is presentation ready. There must be no placeholder material in the script or score. You are submitting the whole musical with the anticipation that it is ready for further development or production, alongside any number of other opportunities. Your musical should have audio recordings as demos for at least 50% of the scored material in your musical, excluding reprises. Importantly, it is not required that all songs be recorded on demo, but they should be fully composed. Demos can range from a fully produced EP or cast recordings to rough personal edits and clean scratch recordings of the composer at a piano or guitar. All festival evaluators are coached to be aware of demo bias, so they will be listening closely for tone, style, and character within the music, rather than the fullness of orchestrations and arrangements. Your musical cannot have been produced on Broadway, the West End, or in a major tour, and you cannot currently be licensed through a major licensing house. You should have all permissions to engage in this process and create your musical if you are using pre-existing material. We'll ask that you supply proof of rights on your application. If the basis of your musical exists in the public domain, then you do not need to provide proof of rights to the material or usage. And remember, every show gets 3 chances to submit to the Festival of New Musicals. If you've reached that limit, contact us and we can let you know what additional options are, especially if you've continued development with a NAMT member.
The selection process takes place over more than 6 months and 3 rounds of close evaluation. It's important to note that the festival is not a competition, but a curatorial process by leading professionals in the field of musical theater. Selection is subjective to the committee, and shows are selected to have a balance as a season and to each have their own lane. First, all submissions are administratively pre-screened by NAMT staff for completion and eligibility. As such, it's important that you note that NAMT staff does not have a say or participate in the evaluation of the shows, but instead carefully facilitates the committee's process. Musicals that fail administrative screens will have the opportunity to edit clearance issues prior to the January 6th late due date. Any in-progress or in-edit submissions, as well as any submissions failing administrative screens after the January 6th due date, will be automatically declined. Round 1 is open to all submissions and is evaluated by our Round 1 screening committee. This is a wide network of NAMT members, festival alumni artists, and established theater workers with an intimate understanding of the festival itself. In Round 1, we are reviewing a 20-page excerpt that you select as a part of designing your application, as well as 5 demos, including those in your excerpt and any others the committee chooses to review. Last year, Round 1 received 537 submissions, and we anticipate this season to be just as, if not more, competitive. About 80 members of the Round 1 screening committee will evaluate Round 1 musicals. Between 80 and 100 of those submissions will advance to Round 2 based on quantitative scoring and qualitative evaluations of that work. In Round 2, our festival selection committee takes over. These are leaders in musical theater from all around the world. In this round, the committee will divide the shows up and review them in entirety, and when they come together to discuss, it's a campaigning round where committee members work to campaign and convince one another to advance what they found important. The committee will then select a finalist pool here of 20 shows that will then move to Round 3. Before Round 3, we'll notify shows that are advancing, and also at this point, all shows that have not advanced will receive their notification as well. Due to the sheer number of shows submitted, NAMT staff are unable to provide feedback to non-finalist submissions. Finalists will have a short window to update scripts and demos if further development on the show has taken place, and then in Round 3, every member of the festival committee will review each show in its entirety, and then the committee will come together in person in New York City to select 8 shows and will notify those selected writers in June. We typically publicly announce the festival lineup prior to the 4th of July.
NAMT uses Submittable for all submissions. You should go ahead and add notifications at submittable.com to your email contacts and create an account at namt.org/submittable. Check out the festival submission guidelines both in this video and on namt.org/fest app. Remember, this is an anonymous selection process, and while NAMT staff knows all identities, none of the evaluators or committee members will know who has written these musicals. Your name and identifying information should not be included in any of the uploaded files, your artist statement, or the synopsis. Let's get started on the application itself. Again, we'll head over to namt.org/fest app to bring up the full form. For part 1, we're looking at basic info. This is title, if it's based on anything, and any former titles. We want the credits of the writing team, and we also want to know if there's a commercial producer attached. This would be a person who has a legitimate option on the show, and you'll be asked to provide that info if you advance as a finalist. We also want to know here how many times you've submitted before and how you heard about the festival. Finally, let us know why you're submitting, and this one is just for us on staff. Part 2. We're looking for information about the writers here. We'll start with the primary contact. This person will receive all communications about the applications via Submittable. Here we're looking for name, contact info, as well as agent info if you have one, and a short bio. You can add another writer here as well and continue to provide up to 3 writers individually. If you have more than 3 members on your team, an additional box will appear for any remaining members of the team. There are no right answers for this part of the application, as the committee won't review this info.
As we head into the next section, I want to point out that the design of the festival's evaluation process is one that leans into helping the evaluators understand your musical through the lens of your personal artistic mission. So in part 3, we're looking for an artistic statement, which is a single thesis from your entire writing team. Here, we want to know what's motivating you to tell this story. Frankly, we know that writing a musical is a years-long endeavor, and we want to know what's kept you coming back to this story and these characters and this music. This is one of the spots that you want to be sure doesn't include identifying information about you, which can be tough to consider sometimes. So try to make this specific to your experience without being specific to your name, location, or your collaborators. You'll select a primary genre and are welcome to provide supporting context here, but try not to overcomplicate or confuse the style or intention of your show. It's okay just to be a comedy or a drama. Again, we'll check in about source material and underlying rights. If your musical contains pre-existing materials in any way that you did not write or that you do not own, you will need to provide proof that rights are cleared. More about this exists online, and if you have questions, reach out to us. Go ahead and place a synopsis for the show here as well. To be clear, this is a summary of the plot, not marketing copy. We'll also note the number of acts as well. More here, we'll look at the cast of your musical and provide information about the breakdown, including the cast size and notes that you might have. Then we need to know about any additional or out of the ordinary casting needs, so children or animals or puppets, etc. This is where we need to know more about those casting needs specifically. And then we'd like to know about your ideal orchestra size and breakdown, meaning the perfect sonic field of the show. What are the instruments we're hearing and how many? If you're selected for the festival, the NAMT presentations will include a music director plus 2 additional musicians. That said, you should place here what the most fully realized components of that orchestra are in your ideal sense, meaning if you're sitting in the audience on opening night, what is the makeup of that orchestra? We want to know what that full information is, and you should know then that we'll pare that down at the festival to a music director plus 2 additional players.
Next, we're interested in the development history of your musical. This is relatively straightforward. You'll list any readings, workshops, residencies, productions, or any other noteworthy events in the life of the show, including when and where. You'll list awards and recognitions for the show itself and also for the writers. This is another section of the application that won't be shared with the committee, so again, there are no wrong answers. In part 5, we're focused on uploads, and this section can be intimidating. It's important to note right off the bat that our ability to help you on a technology level with your submission is very limited. You should always use namt.org/submission help as a resource if you're having technical errors, issues saving your application, or trouble uploading files. Again, that's namt.org/submission help. As a reminder, this is an anonymous submission process. Your name and identifying info should not be included in any of the uploaded files. We'll cover this in more detail shortly, but you'll need to upload a few things for us. First is a single PDF of the full script and a single PDF of the 20-page excerpt. Again, it is imperative that no one's name be found in any area on these files. Next, we'll need individual demo tracks. You can have up to 20 individual tracks that you upload into the submittable system. On top of that, we would like a zip file that contains all demo tracks in a single compressed folder. If you have more than 20 demos, this is where you'd include the rest that you could not include in the individual upload. Please take special care to remove any metadata from your demo tracks that includes names or other identifying information, including production history. A few other important things to note about your uploads. Scripts should be complete and presentation ready. There should be no placeholder scenes or songs, no abbreviated or summarized scenes or songs. Do not include any additional information beyond the title page and script, no images, and no background information. Please remove any writer notes, edit notes, internal comments, text boxes, or other notations that may be left over from your work on the document. The PDF should include text only. We also ask that you do not hyperlink out of the document. As a separate file, we're going to ask for an introductory pages upload. The introductory pages upload should be 4 pages in length and must include the following. On page 1, the title page with title only. No artwork, please. On page 2, a brief synopsis or summary of the plot. This should be no more than 100 words. Also on page 2, the time and setting. Again, this should be no more than 100 words. On page 3, a character breakdown. This should be no more than 300 words or no more than 1 page in length. On page 4, a song list for the entire musical with the demo tracks notated. The notes should indicate the demos included in the submission. Just like in the other uploads, the introductory pages should not include any identifying information, including names of writers, agents, or locations. Next is the full script upload. This must be the full script as a single PDF document. That is the only format that Submittable will accept. All script files should include a single title page and then go into the script itself. So that means on page 1, we'll have the title page with title only and no artwork. Then pages 2 through the end should be your entire script from beginning to end. Here, you'll also see an additional upload field where you can include a full score if you have one. The format here should also be a single title page and then the score itself. Like in the other uploads, the full script and the score should not include any identifying information. Next is the 20-page excerpt. This is the portion of your script that will be used to evaluate your submission exclusively for round 1. What we need are 20 consecutive pages of your script in a single PDF document. This should include a musical moment and not be exclusively continuous dialogue. Only you will know the best 20 pages of your musical to put forward. We often suggest that the first 20 pages is a strong foot forward, but you are by no means required to do so. And again, only you will know the best 20 to give us. If you are not using the first 20 pages, you can use this box to give a brief setup. Here, we're going to ask for a single title page again. This should be the same title page as your introductory pages and full script upload. Page 1 should be the title page, and then pages 2 through 21 will be the 20 consecutive page excerpt. The title page does not count towards the total page count. The script pages must strictly be 20 pages or less, and you may not include a partial 21 script page.
For musicals that are written primarily in a language other than English, it's important to note that the NAMT festival submission and production process is almost entirely facilitated in English. Non-English works may optionally provide a translated script. If your musical includes non-English components but you do not wish to provide a translated script in full, then you can also consider a short translated glossary of terms in the introduction pages. Again, this is all optional. Now we'll look at our demo uploads. You can check this box if you have more than 20 tracks in your demo, and that will signal to us that there are additional demos in your zip file. You'll upload that zip file here first. All of your show's demos go in the zip file, including tracks that you upload individually. So every piece of music that you have a demo for should be included in that zip file. Next, you'll upload the individual tracks. So remember to scrub those files of revealing information from the file names and other metadata, and then start with track 1 and continue to add files until you're entirely uploaded or until you've hit 20 tracks. Here, you'll notice an alternative media upload. In most cases, you are going to ignore this, but there are some instances where you may have already reached out to NAMT to facilitate an alternative media selection in lieu of a demo or a script. In absolutely all cases, this requires NAMT's written permission for you to do so. Additionally, there are sometimes a few technical limitations in this form might pop up, and this section might sometimes present a solution there as well. Chances are, if you're looking at this section section and you're unsure if you need it, it's likely that you don't. But check in with us if you feel like that it might apply to you. However, be sure that you do not upload anything in this section unless you have express pre-approval.
Part 6. Here we have an optional diversity survey. This part of your submission may become part of the committee's discussion in round 3 of our selection process, but this information is only revealed generally and not alongside any individual names on the show. We are always committed to the festival representing a wide array of stories, styles, and experiences found at NAMT member theaters from all communities, just like we do for genres and stages of development. You are not required to fill out this information. And we do give you an opportunity here, not just to check boxes, but to use the short answer box to put your experience in your own words as well.
And we're done. All we have to do is certify that everything you've submitted is true and that you've adhered to the guidelines we've put forward. We also need the full name of the person filling out this form, whether that's the primary contact or not. You can submit your draft or save, and you can return to it later. Just so you know, Submittable will autosave your work as you go, so it's pretty secure to prevent loss of data while you're away from the form. However, NAMT's not responsible if Submittable happens to delete your data at any point in your submission process. If you attempt to submit and have errors in the form, you may see something like this. You've probably seen something like this before where the form will highlight problem areas in red and ask you to make corrections before it'll accept the submission. Also, take care not to exceed word counts. Note that some of the fields require specifically formatted information like email addresses or numbers, and it'll catch you if you've done it wrong. So keep an eye out for these red notes when you're submitting just to make sure that you've corrected everything. Once you've gotten to this page, congratulations, you've successfully submitted your application and it's in our hands now to review the submission for completion. Your primary contact will also receive a confirmation email. This is a great way to test whether Submittable is cleared in your spam, so check your filters and promotions tab to make sure that you've caught this confirmation.
So that is our application. We'll take a look at our key info one more time. Check out the links here for more info on the festival itself and the application. Make sure these important dates are marked in your calendar, and feel free to reach out to the NAMT staff here on the screen with any questions. And of course, tech support is available online.
If you're looking for a few tips for your application this year, then our New Works team has some of those for you too. I can't impress upon you first how helpful it is to have an easy-to-read application. Try to prevent the ordinary fumbles of reading and listening to a musical script. So be clear when to start a track. Do not overcomplicate. I'll say it again, do not overcomplicate. Maybe ask someone close to you that you know might not know theater well and have them give it an honest look and see how simple it is just to take your materials in at face value. For your artist statement, remember that it's pretty difficult to live up to being everything to everyone, and it's pretty easy for the committee to spot when you are trying to do that. So instead, focus on who you are and why only you can be telling this story and why it needs to be on stage. Demos can be particularly challenging as well, so please know that our committees are made of individuals that know how to read scripts and understand what new musical development is at the core and what the writing process looks like. They're also coached to be able to evaluate demos of different production values and qualities, and you shouldn't feel pressure to overproduce your demo material. It's important to have clear sound that can clarify tone and style and intention. Demos can be studio recordings, but many demos that are submitted to the NAMT Festival are just rehearsal or composer recordings. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Hopefully we've caught your questions as we've gone along. We're going to take a moment to transition back over to our live segment, but don't forget to check out namt.org/festival or namt.org/festapp to answer all of your questions for submission. Thank you again.